Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the University of Michigan volleyball game against Mississippi State, where the Wolverines are hosting for the first time here in Crisler Center this season. The Mississippi State Bulldogs played one game prior to this in the Michigan Challenge. It's a three-team tournament comprised of the University of Michigan Wolverines, the Mississippi State Bulldogs, and the Bowling Green Falcons. I think I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Joshua Tenzer, and I am joined here by Zach Linder. How are you doing today, Zach?
Doing all right. Got through another week.
Got through another week, indeed. So, the University of Michigan Wolverines have gone 1-1 since the last broadcast. They went on a road trip to Duke and against North Carolina. Those games were played in, I believe, North Carolina in Durham for a small tournament there. There's a lot more pomp and circumstance when the Wolverines are playing in the Crisler Center. It's the temporary home for the Michigan volleyball team while there's no basketball going on. It's the permanent home of the Michigan men and women's basketball teams, as well as the women's gymnastics team, whereas Keene, where volleyball plays the other half of their time, is the home for the men's gymnastics team. We're here under historic banners. The men's 1921 basketball national championship hangs above our heads as we get ready for a game with much more production value than at Keene. The Jumbotrons actually work showing promo videos. The lights are flashing in a snazzy pattern. And the starters are about to be announced for the University of Michigan Wolverines.
And of course, the most important difference, especially still in the summer here, is that Crisler Center has air conditioning.
Very true. It's a hot one out today. We are glad to be here in Crisler Center as the University of Michigan Wolverines play against the, play against the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Maddie Dowd is the starting center for the Wolverines tonight. She's been splitting time with Scotty Johnson now that Johnson is back from her little trip to the COVID list. Hannah Grant will be the libero defensive specialist starting for the Wolverines. She switched her number from number 9 to number 15. Jess Robinson will start as the middle blocker. Robinson has been fantastic as of late. She actually leads the Big Ten in hitting percentage with a .539 hitting percentage in 27 sets. Jackie Bonney will also start for the Wolverines at middle blocker, and May Pertovsky, the senior, as an opposite hitter, and Kendall Murray will round out the starting lineup for the Wolverines, the junior out of Ann Arbor, Michigan, the hometown hero. And Jess Robinson will be the 7th. Jess Merzick will be the 7th when the libero's not in action. On the other side of the ball, we have Mississippi State's libero, Lily Gunter. Shania Cromiarty will be playing as well, starting for the Bulldogs. Cromiarty had 14 kills and 6 digs in the game against Bowling Green. Rebecca Walk, Gabby Waden as well. Gabby Waden had 19 kills and a .308 attack percentage against Bowling Green, a game which Mississippi State almost came back and won. They were down 2-0 early on through 2 sets. They won the third set 26-24, won the fourth set 25-16, but it wouldn't last as they lost 15-8 against Bowling Green in the 5th and final abridged set.
Yeah, definitely competitive set there, and I would imagine the same here. Both Michigan and Mississippi State are not ranked but are receiving votes on the polls. Wolverines only have the one loss at Duke last week. Mississippi State 7-2. So definitely think we should see some good action here, and the Michigan concludes the tournament against Bowling Green Sunday, who of course beat Mississippi State. So should be a tougher test for Michigan than some of their other early season opponents have been as they conclude their non-conference schedule before traveling to Piscataway to face Rutgers in their Big Ten opener next Friday.
Also rounding out the starting lineup for the Bulldogs, Lauren Myrick. She is second on the team in kills with 3.36 per set. Gabby Waden leads with 4 kills per set. The highest Michigan player with kills per set is Jess Merzick, 3.75. That appears to be an outdated statistic, as Jess Merzick actually has 4 kills per set flat, according to mgoblue.com. mgoblue.com, the more updated of the two websites. We're getting ready for service here. Mississippi State will start by serving the ball. Michigan's libero Hannah Grant will be the one out of the rotation for now. Michigan has a significant contingency of fans, and a large portion of the cheer team are here as well, something that you don't see at Keene, nor do you see as large of a contingency from the marching band. They've got a drummer up there, a couple tubas, some trumpets.
You definitely think it builds into the experience more when you have the live marching band compared to just playing recordings. It is a good turnout, obviously not the same crowd you get for basketball. The first of 7 games the Wolverines play at Crisler Center this evening, and as you mentioned, most of their home games through October will be at Crisler because the basketball teams don't start yet, so there really isn't anything else going on at Crisler that they have it available. Obviously nicer, newer, larger facility, has the replay board.
Linda Rosen is also back. She's making her first appearance at a New York Ann Arbor home game this season. The last couple games she was out on the COVID list, and Hannah Grant has switched back to number 9. Something was up with her jersey. Apparently just came out of the wash.
Had been wearing a maize number 15, now wearing a blue number 9.
Blue is normally the libero color for the Wolverines when they're wearing their whites. Serving for Mississippi State, Gabby Couture. She goes across the court. Attack by Robinson. Played up by Mississippi State. Bumped over the head by Couture. Set by Dowd. Kill by Robinson. That's point 1 for the Michigan Wolverines.
Pretty long rally there to start, and saw Jess Robinson getting involved early with the put away to give the Wolverines the lead and the serve.
Gabby Couture had to make a desperation play there, bumping up and over her head, and now serving for the Wolverines after the kill is Jess Robinson. She's going from the far side of the court. Wolverines playing on radio right, Mississippi on radio left. Diving dig by Dowd to keep the ball up. Kendall Murray had to dive again, and the ball goes off of the net and out of play. Game is tied at 1. Shania Cromarty will serve on the right wing. That's the near side for Mississippi State Bulldogs. Played up by Grant, set by Dowd to the far side, tipped up and over the defense by May Pertovsky. Mississippi State able to play it back towards the Wolverines side. Ball sent over by Bonnie. Kill attempt by number 7 in red, Rebecca Walk. Red and black, rather. And a kill attempt goes out of bounds by Mississippi State. Point Michigan. 2-1 is the score.
Good effort there by Lauren Murick, I think it was, but could not get it in, goes long, and the receiving team has won each of the first 3 points as the Wolverines get the serve back.
Johnson subbed in for Maddie Dowd. Those two setters rotate very frequently now. Serve by Pertovsky into the net. Point Mississippi State.
And I think in the Michigan Invitational that we called a couple weeks ago, we saw early in games the receiving team winning a lot of points. Same thing here now as they've won the first 4, neither team getting in any sort of rhythm.
Pertovsky not the greatest server, just 1 ace and 8 errors. And while you're discussing serves, point Michigan, it's 3-2 as a fantastic and powerful kill by Jackie Bonnie goes through the arms of the digging player for Mississippi State. Now Jess Merzick will serve from the near side. She'll go cross court. Set up by number 2 in black. Blocked by Kendall Murray. Point Michigan. The Wolverines have been such a good blocking team. No one specific player makes it to the top 10 of blocks per set or has a significant amount of blocks to their name, but as a team, they have so many options on that front line that can effectively block. Merzik serves cross court. Set by 12. Attack goes inbounds, touching the line. Out of bounds. The near judge called it inbounds, or the judge nearest to us, but the judge closer to the ball called it out. 5-2. Attack error by Lauren Myrick. She's got 2 errors on 3 attempts. Another cross-court serve by Merzik. Attack from Mississippi State, set up by Johnson. Merzik with the kill attempt. Dug by Gabby Coulter. Sent back over to the Michigan side. And a block up front by number 18, Lauren Myrick. She makes up for her previous error, and that block gets her a point for her team. 5-3, Michigan lead.
Mississippi State taking a play out of the Wolverines playbook. As you mentioned, Michigan's usually the team making all those blocks.
A nice attempt to get the ball over by Scotty Johnson, almost like a layup sort of motion, going up over her head. Unfortunately, it was blocked by Mississippi State's front line and fell down right behind Johnson, as she didn't have a lot of power on that. Mississippi State serve tips the top of the net, but goes over to the Michigan side. Kill attempt by Kendall Murray, unsuccessful. Mississippi State keeping the ball alive. Sent over by Shania Cromartie. Attack by, Jackie Bonney. Tips off of the block by Mississippi State and sails out of bounds, touching the ground. Point Michigan. Hannah Grant will serve for the Wolverines. She's serving very far to the near side, all the way on the left wing. She likes to go down the line. This time she goes cross court, and that's a service ace for Hannah Grant. She's renowned for those. Leads the team in service aces. She'll go again from the left wing. Another cross court. Played up by the Bulldogs, out of bounds. Service ace again. That's 2 in a row for Hannah Grant, the redshirt junior out of Northville, Michigan.
It really is the best case result. They're not even needing to create a point, as getting it off the serves back-to-back play.
Attack out in front by Mississippi State, blocked up by Johnson Robinson. Another attack slides past Jess Merzik, lands inbounds. Point Mississippi State.
You saw there Michigan did block the first kill attempt. They didn't get the second, but as you've mentioned, they are very good blocking up front and either winning points or at least prolonging them.
Serve from the near side by Lauren Myrick. And returned well by Michigan. Just tipped up and over the defense, landing on the hardwood. Point Michigan. Timeout called. No timeout called. That's a substitution. And now Scotty Johnson will serve from the from the far side. Cross court, and another service ace for the Wolverines.
Definitely think if Michigan's going to keep getting these service aces, it should be a pretty easy victory for them. Mississippi State definitely will have to do a better job returning serves if they want to get back into this game.
The score is 10-5. Michigan as a whole has 50 aces to their season now, only 37 service errors. This time, the ball is played up by the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Normal bump, set, serve, attack pattern sent over by the Bulldogs. Point Mississippi State. It is 10-6. Wolverines lead. The kill by Lauren Myrick. It's her second of the day. She has 2 kills, 2 errors on 8 attempts, and 1 block to her name as well. That scream can be heard from the Michigan volleyball band as the opposing team serves. The ball's hit over by Gunter Lilly into the net. Point Michigan, 11-6.
Just an unforced error there that I think Michigan's going to feast on as they look to get an easy victory here in the first set. They'll gladly take the points that the Bulldogs give them.
It's 4 errors and 4 kills this set for the Bulldogs. Michigan also has 4 kills, but only 1 error. Kendall Murray serves, tips over the top of the net, and goes just past the service line. Lucky as luck can be. 12-6, Michigan. Kendall Murray with the 4th service ace for the Wolverines this set.
And they're finding a lot of ways to win points so far tonight. And they'll take that. Serve right off the net, rolls over.
Bulldogs play the ball up. Myrick sends the ball to the Wolverine side. A launching attack from Kendall Murray. She came all the way from the baseline, stopped at the service line, converting her horizontal movement into vertical movement with a powerful kill. Dug well, almost, by Mississippi State. They couldn't control the dig, and it sails into the front row of seats all the way beyond the baseline. That's a good 20 feet behind the baseline. That's a lot of heat on that attack by Kendall Murray.
Looks like Bulldogs are going to take a timeout here as the Wolverines got out to a 13-6 lead. And what looked on paper like it could be a competitive match, and obviously Mississippi State has time even if they drop the first set, but Wolverines have to like where they are right now, finding a lot of different ways to win points. They're getting kills, but it's not only by kills. They're winning points just about every way you can imagine so far.
Couldn't have said it better myself. 1 block, 4 service aces, 5 kills, 4 unforced errors from the Mississippi State Bulldogs side.
And I think what they need to be talking about during their timeout is eliminating those errors. Michigan's going to win points, but I don't think Mississippi State is going to have any chance of winning if they're just giving away points as they're doing right now.
Timeout's over. Michigan has the ball. Kendall Murray. It's her 3rd serve this set. Michigan on a 3-0 scoring run. She's serving a couple paces away from the left sideline. Lines up for the serve. Walks towards the baseline. Jumps with a floater serve. That dies out in front of Lauren Myrick. Wolverines with a block up front and a couple of diving plays by Mississippi State keeps the ball alive. Set by Dowd back towards the far side. Kill by May Pertovsky from the far side. Goes cross court. Down the gullet to Mississippi State. 3 players touch the ball, but they can't ever corral it into something productive. Michigan leads 14-6. Kendall Murray. Cross court again. Played by Myrick at the center. Attack by number 14. And it's not blocked by the Wolverines. It is. The ball does hit the block, but drops on the Wolverines' side of the net. The blocking players there were Robinson and Pertovsky. 7-14 is the score. Michigan leads. Serve by Gabby Coulter from the near side. Wolverines able to play the ball up and over the block from Mississippi State. Mississippi State attacks back. Ball is bumped up by Hannah Grant, and the attack by Kendall Murray goes out of bounds. Point Mississippi State 14-8. The attack went just a bit too far.
That's back-to-back points for the Bulldogs, only the 2nd error of the night for the Wolverines.
Dowd sets the ball up after a serve. Attack by, Jess Merzick from the near side. Goes cross-court and short. Point Michigan 15-8.
Wolverines have 7 kills tonight, and they've come from 6 different players. Jackie Bonney has 2. Otherwise, they've all been spread around. Solid team effort so far.
Robinson serves from the far side down the line. And a block by the Wolverines gains them another point. That was the left side of the court for the Wolverines. Pertovsky and Merzick were the blockers. They split that block in the stats. Mississippi State has trouble controlling the serve, but they do get the ball up and over. A tip attempted by Pertovsky. Mississippi State sends it back over, and another attack and another kill by Jess Merzick from the near side. Again, cross court and short, just the way she likes them. Michigan leads 17-8.
And her 2 kills, those plays looked essentially identical. As long as it's working for Michigan, they're going to keep doing it.
2 times Dowd sets up and over behind her back. Mississippi State controls the serve well. Attack dug up by Robinson. Wolverines send the ball back towards the Bulldog side. Another dig by Robinson, but they're saying that Michigan, I believe, touched the net. 17-9 is the score. Mississippi State with the serve.
May Pertovsky with the block error.
Serve cross court by Lacey Jeffcoat. That goes out of bounds. Point Michigan, 18-9.
Michigan will gladly, after the net violation, take the ball right back, still doubling Mississippi State's score.
The first service error of the game for the Bulldogs. Pertovsky serves, and that touches the baseline. Couldn't imagine a more beautiful serve. 5 service aces for the Wolverines today. Another timeout by the Bulldogs. The most aces that the Wolverines have ever had in a game this season was against Morehead State when they had 10. That was game 2 of the Michigan Invitational. You and I were on that call that Friday night.
Yeah, definitely something you like to see from Michigan. And, I mean, some of them are just Mississippi State making errors getting the ball back. That was just a perfect serve. Mississippi State hoping it would go long, hits the baseline, and those are basically free points, which will make it really easy if they can keep doing it to hopefully put Mississippi State away quickly. They're on track to win this one in not too long, up 19-9.
You and I were talking earlier, pre-game, about how this might be a tough challenge for the Wolverines. Mississippi State, no joke of a team. They lost to Houston, and they lost to Bowling Green, but prior to that, they beat Ball State, a team that beat Michigan last year. Ball State hasn't actually changed much in their roster between last year and this year, and when Ball State beat Michigan, that was in the first round of the NCAA tournament. So far, Michigan has risen to the challenge. Kills, blocks, service aces. They have been all over the court tonight. Couple of fantastic defensive plays, some strong digs, specifically by Hannah Grant. She's got 4 to her day so far. Wolverines have been in control of this game. The score is 19-9 in the first set. Serve by Pertovsky, received by the Bulldogs, and an attack goes through the block. That bounced up off of the hands of Scotty Johnson, and then Hannah Grant dove to keep the ball in play, but it goes off the top of her hand and keeps going back beyond the baseline. Mississippi State has the point.
That's
19-10.
Third kill of the game for Lauren Myrick.
Myrick, one of the 2 best offensive players for the Bulldogs. Wolverines, after a kill, appears to be a blocking error by Mississippi State. A little bit unceremonious of a point, but hey, they don't ask you how, they ask you how many, and so far Michigan has gotten 20 points in this first set.
They keep finding ways to get points. There's a reason they're up 20-10.
Merzik serves, cross court. Attack, strong by, it looks like Dea Robinson.
And the Wolverines do only have 2 errors, so when Mississippi State's winning points, they're earning the points. Mississippi State also has 5 errors, so they have given away points to go along with their 8 kills.
Wolverines receive the serve to the near side, and another blocking error by Lauren Myrick. That appears to be the second blocking error in 3 points for Mississippi State. I don't have, oh, there we go. There are the stats. It's the first blocking error for Myrick this game. Attack by Myrick. Hannah Grant can't make the dig at the center of the court. Goes off of her forearms and sails with some speed towards the Michigan ball girl in the near back corner. Has to put her hands up to defend herself.
Since the Mississippi State timeout, the teams have alternated points, but if you're Michigan and up 21-12, you'll take it.
Myrick serves towards the center. Put up by Merzik. Scotty Johnson with the block, keeping on the Mississippi State side. Mississippi State goes back-to-back with points. A strong kill by Francesca McBride. Hannah Grant can't make the dig.
So Mississippi State has 9 kills, so they're showing their talent at times. It's just the errors that they're undoing.
Served by Myrick. Set behind Scotty Johnson towards the near side, and Robinson with a block kill sort of hybrid She did use two hands as a block, but she angled it right down over the net. Got her hands up and over. Michigan 3 points away from winning this first set.
They're officially calling it a kill. That's Robinson's second.
Scotty Johnson serving from the far side. Has some velocity on that one. Dug up by Myrick. Attack attempted by Mississippi State. Blocked in front by the Wolverines. Now the Mississippi State Bulldogs go to the near side. Diving dig by Merzik. Keeps the ball up, and the attack by Pertovsky goes past the baseline. She's arguing that it was touched by the Bulldogs, but not arguing too much like she really believes it. Drops it immediately once the ref tells her no. 22-14 is the score. Serve by Lily Gunter, the libero for the Bulldogs. She's serving from near the center of the court. Grant plays it up. Dowd with a serve. And as Pertovsky tries to tip the ball up and over the net, it touches the out-of-bound pole on the net. That's an error. Point, Mississippi State. They're within 7. Another serve by Gunter. Tips the top of the net. Set by Dowd to the far side. Kill by Robinson. Kendall Murray.
That's her second of the game, which now means 4 Wolverines have 2 or more kills. Very well-balanced attack. They have 12 as a team.
Kendall Murray put that attack right down the center of the net, and now she'll serve from the near side. Cross court played up by Myrick. Attack by Sophie Aggie. Goes towards the center for the Wolverines. Wolverines able to play the ball back up and over. Attack blocked by the Wolverines, but after the block, it goes out of bounds. Excuse me.
Bulldogs do seem to have more momentum now. Michigan's still comfortably out, up 7 with 2 points away from a win, but you do wonder how Game 2 will look if Mississippi State can keep playing how they have been since their last time out.
Gabby Coulter serves from the far side, and a set by Dowd towards the center of the net. Kill by Robinson. Michigan has set point, and the fans get to their feet here in the Crisler Center. Robinson will be the server from the far side. Down the line, played up by Mississippi State. Blocked out in front by the Wolverines, and then counter-blocked by Mississippi State, but that counter block goes out of bounds across the sideline. Michigan takes set 1, 25-16.
Definitely solid showing there for the Wolverines. 13 kills spread among 6 players. Jess Merzik, Jess Robinson, and Jackie Bonney all had 3. Only 3 errors, a .357 hit percentage. Mississippi State 11 kills with 6 errors for just a .167 hit percentage. Mississippi State showed their talent at times, but overall, Wolverines look like the much better team. They're out to a 1-0 lead as they start their final 2 tests before entering their conference slate. You did wonder with what admittedly at times was an easy non-conference schedule how they would look, but playing against a much tougher opponent, on paper at least, they've looked the part.
So, Zach, what are some of the who were some of the highlights through one set for both Michigan and the Mississippi State Bulldogs?
I mean, I think from the Bulldogs side, obviously, the player who seemed to be around the ball at the time was Lauren Myrick, had 4 kills, did also have 2 errors. For the Wolverines, I think, obviously, look, Jackie Bonney had 3 kills, 3 blocks. Jess Merzik, 3 kills, 2 blocks. The tough thing, and I think we talk about it a lot with this Wolverines team, is they're so well balanced that often it is hard to find that one star because it feels like everyone who's on the floor is contributing.
Myrick is a senior out of Louisville, Kentucky. She once this season got 18 kills. That was against Ball State on the 3rd of September. A hitting percentage of .213 on the season so far, peaking at .276 against Liscombe. And you said it best, the Michigan Wolverines are such a well-rounded team. They're so good at platooning their players. through one set when it comes to assists. 7 by Maddie Dowd, 4 by Scotty Johnson. 3 different players racked up 3 kills. 6 players got at least 1 to their tally. I mean, it's so hard to play against the Michigan Wolverines because they can't attack from the right side like Kendall Murray loves to. They can't attack from the left side. That tends to be Jess Merzik's area. And they can stuff the ball right down the center with Jess Robinson. Sometimes Maddie Dowd will make a play for an attack. Sometimes Scotty Johnson will. The team switch sides now. The Bulldogs on radio right. Wolverines on radio left. If you like what you're hearing, you can keep listening on WCBN's YouTube channel and WCBN2's YouTube channel as we are here today for more broadcasts of almost every Michigan home game, assuming it's a team sport.
When you look ahead at the Wolverines' schedule, obviously beginning play in the Big Ten at the end of next week, and I think as we were talking about before the game, this is a very difficult conference. Wisconsin, defending champ, is 4th in the nation. Wolverines have a home-and-home against them in October. Ohio State is ranked 5th. Wolverines will play them twice. Play them on September 28th. That game will be broadcast on the FM station here in Ann Arbor. You also have Minnesota, 6th in the nation. So Big Ten owns the 4, 5, and 6 spots.
Kendall Murray with the serve, starting for the Wolverines. Played well by Mississippi State up until an attacking error. It appears to be by number 8 in black, Gabby Waden. She went for an attack. She just did it a bit too early. The ball, that was Gabby Coulter, credited with a bad set as Waden's attack was, I think, a bit too early. Tipped off the top of her fingertips and into the net. And that attack error by number 7, Rebecca Walk, goes past the sideline. Michigan jumping out to a 2-0 lead early. They haven't had to do a rally back and forth yet.
Yeah, just 2 quick errors by Mississippi State, which I think is what they can't do if they want to try to even up the match.
Robinson serves from just over center on the far side. Clips the top of the net. Attack dug by Hannah Grant, set by Dowd from the near side. Kendall Murray with an attack. Point Mississippi State. As they're, I'm not sure what the call was there.
Looked like the play was shut down.
It was a bad set by Dowd. They're calling it a double touch.
Crowd did not seem to like it, as you would expect.
It was the right call, though. The ball had quite a lot of rotation on it, which when you're setting is a signifier that the 2 hands touched at different times. Now serving for the Bulldogs, Lacey Jeffcoat. Goes from the far side to the near side. Attack by Robinson, blocked out in front by a solo blocker. Rebecca Walk was the one to stand tall there.
Just like that, the game is evened up at 2-2. Mississippi State bouncing back from the 2 errors to start.
Serve played up by Grant. Attack by Robinson. Blocked again by Walk, but the block goes out of bounds. Point Michigan. Walk has made quite a name for herself in the past, 2 points. Showing no fear. The 6'2" junior out of St. Louis Bay, Mississippi. Robinson will serve. That's blocked by Merzik. It's very rare you see a header in volleyball, but Michigan had to do that to keep the play alive. Robinson plays the ball up after attack from Mississippi State, goes towards the far side where Merzik is waiting on the left wing. Strong attack dug well by Lily Gunter for Mississippi State on the near side, but after the dig, the ball goes up over the net and out of bounds across the sideline. Michigan leads 4-2.
Well played point there. Jess Merzik with the kill, and as you mentioned, good dig attempt on the other side, but just could not get it in bounds.
Robinson moves her serve to the near side, plays the ball down the line. Attack by Mississippi State, blocked in front by Bonnie. As Mississippi State gets the ball up and over, Wolverines with a set and then an attack. Well done by Jackie Bonnie from the center of the net. She's able to get past Rebecca Walk this time. 5-2 Michigan. Robinson still playing on the near side. Another serve down the line. From her knees, keeping the ball alive is Lily Gunter. And Mississippi State's able to play the ball well. Up and over, hits the hardwood. 3-5 is the score. Michigan still leads.
Bulldogs with a good rebound there, but they will need to go on a run, I think, if they want to keep this second set close.
That was a kill by Rebecca Walk, and now she'll serve. Michigan plays well. A strong attack goes off the block, and the block will send the ball beyond the baseline and out of bounds. Michigan gets the ball right back. 6-3 is the score, and now serving for the Wolverines is May Pertovsky.
And I think you can definitely see that Wolverines are the superior blocking team, and that is a big reason for the score being what it is.
Pertovsky serving from the left side. Goes cross court. Playing the ball up is Lacey Jeffcoat. And a block by Jackie Bonney after an attempted attack by the Bulldogs. No one was there to be prepared in case the block went well, which it did. So Michigan wins back-to-back points, and now again serving is Pertovsky. Go ahead.
That's 4 blocks for Jackie Bonney.
Pertovsky serves down the line. Again, played well by Jeffcoat. Mississippi State will win, and you'll hear the Bulldogs bench barking in excitement, I guess. Amber Beals comes in. Michigan playing with 2 defensive specialists.
And I think you look at this match so far, Wolverines are just the more consistent team. Bulldogs look really good at times, but the errors have also been an issue. 8 on the night, only 4 for the Wolverines.
Wolverines line up like they're expecting a cross-court serve, and a cross-court serve is what they get. Set by Johnson, attack by Jackie Bonney, goes through the block and hits the ground. Through the block and hits the ground. Michigan leads 8-4, and the Stormtrooper is here today, the Michigan Stormtrooper in the front row. Sure, we'll see him tomorrow as the Wolverines take on the UConn Huskies in what should be another easy game for the Wolverines. No jinxes or anything.
They are favored by, I think it's like 47.
Michigan did cover the spread last week, fun fact. Did not cover the spread last week, fun fact. The spread was 52.5 points.
I do believe if they played JJ all game, they would have.
If ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a very Merry Christmas. Unfortunately, the Wolverines did not play JJ, and JJ did win that starting role. Kendall Murray with an attack, blocked out in front by the front line for the Bulldogs. Hannah Grant will send the ball up. Amber Beals will send the ball up and over, and the attack attempted by the Bulldogs goes out of bounds. 9-4 is the score. 10-4 now is the score. Michigan leads. Michigan has 18 kills on the day, and that's another error. This one for the Bulldogs. This one by Daya Robinson.
And it appears that will lead to a Mississippi State timeout as the Wolverines jump out in front again 10-4 with three of their 10 points coming on errors by the Bulldogs, 5 coming on kills by the Wolverines.
We haven't seen that many rallies back and forth. A lot of very quick points. No service aces from either team so far this set. We've seen a lot of Wolverines hit it over. Mississippi makes an error. Served by the Bulldogs. Wolverines, they've only got 1 error so far today, but we've seen them struggle a little bit. It's just been a lot of very quick points. That one, go ahead.
I think we're seeing teams just trying to put away the point early on, and usually when you try to, you're going to. It might just be against your team. Teams seem more interested in winning the point early than prolonging the points. But it seems that is Michigan's identity from what we've seen so far this year in the games we've called. They play aggressively, and it's worked out well, obviously. 7-1 record so far, and already up 1-0 tonight with the 10-4 lead here in the second set.
Merzick will serve from the far side. Mississippi State with the set goes towards the near side. The attacker goes off the net. 11-4 is the score. Michigan's point.
And as you mentioned, that ball goes over the net a few times, but not that many. Points really are ending quickly. We've gotten almost halfway through the second set in only about 35 minutes.
It's another attack error by Deja Robinson, and this time it's a service error by Jess Merzick. It goes just past the baseline. Mississippi will get the ball back. And it will be Lauren Myrick to serve from the far side. Again, Mississippi State on radio right, Wolverines on radio left. Myrick serves, and that goes way too far, about 3 or 4 feet beyond the baseline, up and over Amber Beals. Point Michigan, and that's 2 service errors in a row in this game. Mississippi State gets the ball, they give it right back to the Wolverines. Serving is Hannah Grant. Not a lot of power on that serve, and the attack goes out of bounds. The attack by Mississippi State goes out of bounds just a couple inches off the sideline. Michigan leads 13-5.
And Bulldogs up to this point have as many errors as they do points, which is not a winning recipe.
And that's another error. Not entirely sure what that hand signal is, but Mississippi State with another unforced error, another issue with the mechanics. And Michigan climbs out to a 9-point lead early in this set, 14-5. Couple desperation plays by Mississippi State as they weren't able to handle the serve properly. It wasn't a serve with a lot of heat. It just bounced funny off of the first touch. Mississippi State with an attack by Lauren Myrick, and that goes off the net. Michigan leads 15-5. Another timeout by Mississippi State. Their second and final of the set.
And you have to wonder what they're talking about in their huddle, because they know down 15-5, they're probably falling behind 2-0. So what do they need to change in order to not just quickly get shut out? I think the biggest thing is the errors. And I think you talked about how it feels like these points are really lasting quickly, and it's clearly worked to Michigan's benefit tonight. I think the Bulldogs need to put more emphasis on keeping the ball in play longer. It's obviously tough because you know Michigan's going to go for the kill eventually, but the Bulldogs have just had too many errors to have any chance, so I think they need to make a philosophical change in their gameplay. Wolverines just want to keep doing what they're doing because it clearly has been very successful. 25-16 win in the first set, and up 15-5 here in the second as they look to improve to 8-1 on the season.
That strange signal, by the way, I've gone to the bottom of it. That was an illegal hit. She palmed the ball and gave it a push downwards instead of slapping with a straight hand. So that's to clear up any confusion there. If you were Mark Rosen, head coach for the Wolverines, what would you say the Wolverines need to improve upon? I know they've been playing well, but no one plays perfect. What areas for improvement do you think the Wolverines are trying to focus on in the second half of the second set and the third set?
I mean, I think obviously only 4 errors on the day isn't bad. You'd like it to be even lower. So I think that would probably be the one point of focus if there is any.
Grant serves well and played well by the Mississippi Bulldogs. A diving save by Merzick keeps the ball alive, and the Bulldogs are unable to control after the first touch. The second touch was a desperation play to keep the ball alive, and so was the third. Unfortunately, that third touch by Lily Gunter doesn't go up and over the net. She had to stretch all the way out just to reach the ball. She was back towards the baseline and didn't have enough power to get the ball up and over the net. Michigan leads by 11 points, their largest lead of the day. It's 16-5. And a service ace by the Wolverines. Another one for Hannah Grant. That is her third of the day, and that ties her season high.
And that's 6 on the day for the Wolverines. The Bulldogs do not have any.
Bulldogs with a double touch on the set. Michigan leads this set 18-5.
For a team coming in at 7-2 that the Wolverines are facing, it is very remarkable. They're on a 7-0 scoring run. They have just been completely dominant the last run of points.
You do also have to keep in mind that the Wolverines are fresh. They haven't played since Saturday. whereas Mississippi State did play yesterday in a 5-set game against Bowling Green. And now Michigan up 19-5 as the attack by Mississippi State touches the out-of-bound pole. And it's 19-5. Michigan has had some dominant sets before. The least amount of points they've let up in a set so far this season was the third set against Utah Tech, 25-9, and now they're up 20-5 in a pretty standard affair there. Serena Niambio, her first game action today, she gets the kill, assisted by Scotty Johnson. And number 12 in black, Gabby Coulter, tries to little trickeration there. She lined up like she was going to make the set. It would have been the second touch for the Bulldogs, but instead she tried to tip the ball up over the net. It hits net instead and falls to the ground. Michigan up 21-5. Another serve by Grant, played up by Myrick on the near side. The Bulldogs will tip the ball up and over. Diving to keep the ball alive is Merzik, but she cannot. It is 21-6.
And that is a 10-0 scoring run the Wolverines or a 9-0 scoring run that the Wolverines were on. Still with a hugely dominant lead. Just need to make sure they don't let up in the third set.
Remarkably impressive, and now serving for the Bulldogs is Lily Gunter. Goes cross court. Attack by the Bulldogs falls nowhere as the block by Niambio touched the net. So that'll be a point for the Bulldogs, 21-7.
Be the second error of the set by the Wolverines.
Be Niambio's first. Set by Johnson to the near side. Attack by Merzik. Point Mississippi State. Not sure what the hand signal there was or why it's out, but it was attacking error by Jess Merzik on the near side. Excuse me, it's 21-8. And now Gunter will serve again from the near side. Cross court, out of bounds. A service error.
And to me, that's exactly what Mississippi State cannot afford to do after winning 3 points in a row, giving the ball right back to the Wolverines on a service error.
And Haley Hallgren will get her first bit of game action today. Serving for the Wolverines is Scotty Johnson, the setter. Serves from the back near side. Set by Johnson. Tipped up and over the block almost entirely by Kendall Murray. The blocking players up front, namely Gabby Coulter, has to react quickly, and she'll send the ball into the net. Michigan just 2 points away from taking set number 2.
And if they can get the next 2, they will have the lowest points allowed in the set for the season.
And a block in front by Kendall Murray. Michigan has set point here, and the fans once again to their feet, spurred on by the drummer of the Michigan Marching Band. Here for the Michigan Volleyball Band, rather. Johnson with the serve. Dug up by Myrick. Attack into the net. And a point for Michigan, as that is the 4th touch after it goes into the net. Michigan with the point and the set. Michigan leads this game 2-0 through 2 sets. And that is as dominant of a set as we've seen the Wolverines have this season.
Yeah, I mean, it felt dominant when they had won 25-16 in the first set. And now Mississippi State only getting half as many points in the second set. Wolverines have completely outmatched the Bulldogs. Michigan on the night has outscored them 50-24. And while strange things happen in sports, it is difficult to imagine Mississippi State really making the third set that competitive if the teams play anything like they have up to this point. 21 kills for the Wolverines compared to only 5 errors. A negative hit percentage for the Bulldogs as they have 15 kills and 17 errors. And that will just not give them a chance to win games when they're giving more points to the opposition than they're earning for themselves.
That is also the least amount of points put up by Mississippi State in a set, not counting the abridged 5th set, of course. Are there any players you'd like to highlight from Michigan through that set?
I mean, I don't think anyone... I feel like the Wolverines players almost stood out less in that set because it felt like the Bulldogs were making even more errors. So I almost think the Wolverines earned more of their points in the first set. 11 errors for the Bulldogs in the second set. Wolverines had 8 kills compared to 13 in the first set. On the day, I think the big player to highlight is Jackie Bonney, has 5 kills along with 4 blocks. We also see Jess Mersick, Jess Robinson, and Kendall Murray with 4 kills, but none of them have more than 2 blocks. So Jackie Bonney's had the biggest impact, essentially winning 9 points for this team through the first 2 sets.
I'd also like to take a moment to appreciate Hannah Grant. Not only does she lead the Big Ten in service aces per game with 0.61 per set. She has a bunch to her name today. That's 3 service aces. And also, while she didn't get any aces in that stretch of 9 straight serves, she also didn't have any service errors in 9 straight serves, which is very impressive and allowed Michigan to go on that 9-0 run.
Yeah, I do think as a server, obviously service aces are nice, but to me the biggest thing is keeping the ball in the court, because that's when you give your team a chance to go on a run. We've seen several times Michigan gives the ball to, at least a couple times, Michigan gives the ball to Michigan State. They make a service error. You can't go on a scoring run when you make a service error. So that really is a big accomplishment. The aces are nice, but giving your team a chance to win each point, especially when you have the better team, will lead to good results, as it has here tonight.
With the time we have left, we'll take a quick trip around the diamond. It's a Friday night. There's not many sports on here as we get closer to hockey and basketball season, rather. Marlins leading the Nationals 4-0 in a battle for who's worst in the NL East. The Orioles and Blue Jays fighting for that last wild card spot. The Blue Jays are ahead 1-0 through 3. The Tigers are leading the White Sox. That'll be good for any of you in-state listeners. The Royals are tied with the Red Sox 0-0. Guardians and Twins 0-0. And Pirates Mets 0-0 through 3. The Tampa Bay Rays are beating the Rangers through 2. And the Phillies and Braves are also tied at zeros midway through the second. The Braves had a fantastic chance to take the lead of the NL East as the Mets dropped 3 of 3 to the Cubs. Not a good look for a team trying to keep their very narrow grasp on the lead of the NL East. They actually did drop to second place in the NL East for just 23 hours before taking it right back as the Braves struggled against the San Francisco Giants, one of the 2 kings coming out of the NL West.
Yeah, it definitely was remarkable to see. The Mets have barely lost series all year. The only times they've been swept this year...
That was it. That was the first sweep against the Mets.
The first 3-game sweep. They were swept twice by the Astros in 2-gamers and a 2-gamer in Yankee Stadium. The Mets have done a very good job winning series this year. They just haven't swept many series. So that was alarming. But the Braves, as you mentioned, didn't take advantage, and now the Mets have the Pirates. Of course, you could say they already had the Cubs, didn't take advantage there, but they handily beat the Pirates last night as they look to turn things around. If you have a T-shirt toss going on here now.
I mean, I think we're a bit high up, but who to, keep an eye out. They don't have any of the cannons. It's going to take someone with a real arm to reach us. Yeah, it's not getting up here. They're reaching about, 7 or 8 rows up?
For basketball games, they put the cannon out on the court so that they can reach higher up, but not doing that for a volleyball game. Obviously, all the fans are down in the lower bowl. The upper bowl is not open, so we are just about the highest people here in Crisler Center.
Have you ever seen, what I can only describe as, so you know the T-shirt cannons, right? Yeah. The air-powered. Have you ever seen a T-shirt minigun? That's the only way I can describe it. I know they have it at Madison Square Garden for Rangers and Knicks games, and I want to say the St. John's basketball team also gets to make use of them. Basically, it's about a 6-foot diameter tube with 2 layers of T-shirts, and the drum just rotates around a constantly firing air pressure thing, and it's a rapid-fire automatic T-shirt cannon, and it is the craziest thing I've seen. And immediately right off the bat, Mississippi State with a service error as the ball goes just a bit too far out of bounds, and the wah-wah-wah-wah coming from the Michigan marching band.
Definitely adds to the experience, that Michigan marching band right there, mocking the Mississippi State servers for their errors.
Jess Robinson serves from the near side. Far side, goes down the line. Mississippi State able to bump, attack, and a blocking error by Michigan. It appears to be Jackie Bonney, the one who...
Jess Merzick.
Yep. Thank you. Jess Merzick was the one who made the error. It's 1-1 here in set 3. Set by Dow towards the center, and a kill by Jackie Bonney. Goes straight down the center towards the back of the court. Touches right before the baseline. 2-1 Michigan lead. Pertovsky will serve from the near side. She hits the net. It's a service error for Pertovsky. She's also got a service ace on the day. It is her second service error so far today. Pertovsky has never been one to be incredibly accurate with the serves. Still a disappointing outcome for Wolverines fans. Lily Gunter will serve from the far side, down the line. Set behind her back is Johnson. Attack by Pertovsky, and then she'll send the ball back over towards the Mississippi State side on her first touch. Kendall Murray has to lay out for the ball on her third touch to keep it in play, up and over the net. Mississippi State attack blocked by Pertovsky. Mississippi's able to get the ball back and play over to the Michigan side. Set behind her back is Johnson. Pertovsky with an attack. Mississippi State attacks, blocked in front by Merzick. Mississippi State will send the ball back over with a bump. And Merzick will attack and finish the point as it bounces off the block in front. That was a rally.
I think the longest one we've had tonight by a decent amount. I think it is what Mississippi State needs to do more of. Obviously, it didn't work out for them there. But we have now seen the receiving team win each of the first 5 points. Neither team getting in a rhythm yet.
Merzick will serve from the near side, goes cross court. The attack by Mississippi State goes up and over the block. Diving to keep the ball alive is Grant. And 3 players for the Wolverines dive towards the center of the court, and they do keep the play alive. The fans voicing their pleasure with that. But another attack by Mississippi State hits the same spot of the court. None of the Wolverines players were able to get back in position to defend well. That'll be a point for Mississippi State.
And I think that's an example where by keeping the point alive, they end up tiring Michigan out maybe and coming away with that.
And that'll be a service ace for number 19, Emily Oither. Yeah, I think that's how that's pronounced. Emily Oither with a service ace, her first of the day. She's got 7 assists to her name and 1 error on 1 attempt.
That's the team's first service ace of the day as well.
Kendall Murray with the attack, diving to keep the play alive was Lily Gunter. A great diving dig. And Mississippi State comes to a 2-point lead after that attack can't be dug by Merzick. It's 5-3. I believe it's their first 2-point lead in any set so far.
Think so.
It's the second time in 2 games that Mississippi State has gone down 2-0. Kendall Murray with the attack. Gets Wolverines back within 1. Robinson subs in. And leaving is Pertovsky. Jackie Bonney. Michigan going with 2 defensive specialists in the lineup so far. Beals and Grant both playing. Mississippi State will tip the ball over. Johnson with the bump, so the setter will not be the one to set. Michigan gets the ball back over. Johnson has to play the ball again up really high. keeping the ball in control. A strong attack by Mississippi State. They get back to a lead of 2 points, 6-4, as that ball lands in the middle of a circle of Michigan defenders.
And you wonder how long it's going to last, but this looks like a completely different team than we saw at Mississippi State in the first 2 sets, as they're now up 6-4. No errors so far here in this third set.
Shania Cromiarty with the serve for the Bulldogs. Merzik with a diving dig. The ball's played up by Hannah Grant, sent over by Johnson. Another diving dig by Merzik. She's laying it all out for the Wolverines team. And a strong attack by Mississippi State. Can't be controlled by Amber Beals as she lays out for the ball. Mississippi State pulls ahead by 3.
And they have gotten their hit percentage back to positive at .043 on the night, .333 for the day. Or for this set, rather.
Cromiarty serving from the near side. Cross court, played up by Grant. Set by Johnson. An attack by Kendall Murray goes out. 4-8 is the score. That attack went just beyond the far sideline. And she had to go cross court with it.
In 12 points, the Bulldogs have matched their point total from the last set already.
Set by Johnson, attack by Merzik, blocked and out of play. Michigan gets the ball back. They trail 5-8, and they'll want to put together quite a run here. Draw within even at least, but that'll be a difficult task with Scotty Johnson, the setter, in the back row as she's the server. Serving from the far side, Scotty Johnson, float serve. That dies in front, and a double touch by the setter for Mississippi State. Nets Michigan the next point. It is 6-8.
That'll be the first error, I believe, for the Bulldogs this set, as they played much cleaner, but Wolverines have drawn back to 2, have the serve.
It's not counted as an attacking error, so you won't see it as an error on the score sheet. It's a ball handling error. That's an attacking error, though, by Mississippi State. Tries to go across court from the far side to the near side. Michigan crawls back to within 1. Johnson with the serve. Stays down the line and just out of bounds with a chance to tie the set. Scotty Johnson with a service error just beyond the baseline. Mississippi State leads 9-7.
Well, the service error wasn't ideal, but I think you definitely like seeing from Michigan, getting that run 3 in a row and hoping that they'll have more of those after a rather uncharacteristic start when they fell behind 8-4.
Service error by Sania Pettis. We'll give the ball back to Michigan. Wolverines trail just by 1, and you'll hear some more jeers from the Michigan volleyball band directed towards Pettis. After a service error, Kendall Murray serving from the near side. Cross court played up by Myrick. Attack attempted by number 16 in black, Sophie Aggie. Wolverines diving to keep the play alive. And Kendall Murray with a bump behind her back over her head. And Michigan will win that point. It looks like they were out of it, but a well-timed block in the front left. Wolverines draw with an even. It's 9-9.
As you mentioned, incredible job there saving that point. And then ultimately, attacking error from the Mississippi State side. They're second to the set. And Wolverines, after being down 8-4, have won 5 of the last 6. Only point Mississippi State got coming on a service error from the Wolverines. It's a new game at 9-9.
Kendall Murray. She moved a bit closer to the center of the court. Still relatively on the near side. She'll go cross court. Ball played up by Cromiarty. Attack blocked by the Wolverines on the near side. Mississippi State tips the ball up and over the block. Attack attempted by Pertovsky. And as Mississippi State tries to tip the ball over, it still falls into the block of Jess Merzik. And Michigan will take the lead their first time this set. They lead 10-9.
Believe they were up 3-2 at one point.
That is correct, yes. And another service error for the Wolverines as the serve by Kendall Murray goes just a bit too far. The set is tied up at 10. Michigan leads 2-0.
It is a little concerning seeing the Wolverines with 2 service errors in quick succession. They have not looked as good this third set as they did in the first 2. Still tied here, though, at 10-all.
Great play by Maddie Dowd, running all the way out of bounds to keep the ball alive. Michigan can't capitalize with an attack. They'll settle to just bump the ball over. Mississippi State will play with an attack. That goes out of bounds. Michigan leads 11-10. Jess Robinson will serve from the far side. Robinson goes down the line. Played up by number 16 in black. Attack attempted by the same player. That's Sophie Aggie from the far side, rather. That blocked in front. Michigan leads by 2 for the first time this set, 12-10. It's Bonnie and Pertovsky on the block. Wolverines tip the ball up several times, and Murray will have to settle for a block. Attack scored well by Michigan, and now Mississippi State will take a timeout as they trail within 3. They've dropped,
I believe it's 9 of the last 11. The only points they've gotten since their 8-4 lead have been on Wolverines' service errors, which is a little uncharacteristic. But ever since that 8-4 Mississippi State lead, this Wolverines team has gone back to looking like the team they had through the first 2 sets. They look to shut this one out 3-0, on pace to do so.
Wolverines just 12 points away from a straight set win. We will keep calling all the way through. The University of Michigan Wolverines played field hockey earlier today. They're ranked number 7 in the nation. They fell to number 6 in the nation, Penn State. That was on WCBN earlier. And now Michigan is tied with number 14, Maryland, at home in men's soccer.
Busy day for the Wolverines athletics. 3 home games tonight.
Wolverines serve. Played well by Mississippi State, and their attack goes through a gap in the Michigan defense. It's 11-13.
I believe the Michigan women's soccer team is playing at Maryland. So all told, they have 4 events today, and then obviously football tomorrow afternoon.
Kendall Murray receives the serve, but she's not able to control it all that well. Goes up and over the net. And an attack by Merzick goes just a bit too far, touching the shoe of the line judge on the corner. His shoe does count as out of bounds, though. Michigan leads by just 1. It's 13-12. They've dropped 2 straight points after the timeout to Mississippi State. And another poor control of the serve, this time by Merzick. But the attack by Mississippi State goes out of bounds. Michigan leads by 2.
And all of a sudden, after a very clean start to the set, they've now made 6 attacking errors, and they're back to a negative hit percentage.
State?
Yeah. Back to a negative hit percentage on the night.
And a service error, the 3rd of the set by the Wolverines. This one coming from Pertovsky.
Definitely
I believe that is her 3rd overall on the day. That is correct. It's her 3rd service error of the day.
Definitely is something I think they're going to talk about after, as they've kind of let Mississippi State stay in the game with the 3 service errors.
Set by Johnson. Attack by Merzick from the near side. Dug up well by Gunter. Mississippi State has to scramble to keep the ball alive. They'll play it just up and over. Pertovsky with Bonnie with the attack from the far side. Mississippi State tips the ball up and over the block, and they tie the game up at 14s as 3 Michigan defenders on the back line. None of them can reach the ball. They were all playing rather deep, expecting an attack. The tip got them all off guard, just up and over the block, and then in front of the back line. Well played and well positioned by the Mississippi State player, Gabby Waden. And another attack by Mississippi State finds the hardwood. Shania Cromiardi, her 6th of the day. And it is 15-14, Mississippi State leads.
And Michigan will take their first time out of the night. They haven't had a reason to before, but definitely concerned on the Wolverines side. They've dropped 5 of 6 points after the Mississippi State timeout. They've had 3 service errors, which right now are the difference in the game. They just have not looked like the same team that they did in the first 2 sets. But the great thing about this team is even when they're not playing like themselves, they're still hanging in here. And even if they do drop the set, they still have sets 4 and 5 where they'd only have to win 1. So they're still in a good position in the match, but I don't think they're going to be very happy with how they've played up to this point in this set as they trail by 1. They've only had 2 errors, attacking errors, but then the 3 service errors as well. That's 5 points they've handed to the Bulldogs. Bulldogs do have 6 errors themselves, as they haven't looked as good as they did since that 8-4 start, but they've come back, taking 5 of the last 6 to retake the lead.
I believe the music today in the arena is courtesy of DJ Array. And for all you DJ Array fans, he will be back in Michigan Stadium. He was the DJ for Michigan's first football game against Colorado State last week. It was DJ Mint. DJ Array is back. Serve by Lily Gunter, stays down the line. Attack attempted by Scotty Johnson, the setter, and a diving dig by Hannah Grant, and Jess Merzick with an uncharacteristic attack error. Her attack was from beyond the service line, and it was slow and low and came into the net. 16-4 is the score. That is her 3rd error of the day. Gunter serves down the line on the far side. Kendall Murray attacks. That clips the top of the net. Kept up by the Wolverines. Hannah Grant will have to bump the ball up over the net, and an attack by the Mississippi State Bulldogs finds the center of the court. They're up by 3.
And their bench is as excited as they've been all night.
Granted, there hasn't been much to cheer about over the past 2 sets, set 1 and set 2. But now Mississippi State looking for a comeback. Gunter again down the line, set towards the near side by Scotty Johnson, and an attack by Jackie Bonney, uncontrolled by Mississippi State. It's 15-17.
That'll break up a scoring run for the Bulldogs, and now the Wolverines need to hope they can get one of their own to retake the lead as they trail by 2 right now, 17-15.
Merzick will serve from the near sideline. Cross court, out of bounds. Michigan State leads by 3 again. That is the 2nd service error of the game from Jess Merzick. In fact, Michigan has 7 service errors on the day. 4 of them coming from this set. And a blocking error by Michigan nets Mississippi State another point. They're up by 4. 19-15, and they're 6 points away from getting themselves a set under their belts here at Crisler Center. Set by Johnson towards the near side. Attack by Kendall Murray. Sort of a veiled attack. She didn't jump for that one hardly at all. Didn't do her normal run-up. She just a little bit of a leap. Sent the ball cross court with some speed. Michigan claws back to within 3. Serving is Hannah Grant. She was the server when Michigan went on their 9-0 run, and an illegal touch by Michigan gives Mississippi State the ball right back. It's 20-16 Mississippi State.
Michigan just not finding a rhythm, and you wonder if it's going to take getting through the set, likely getting to a fourth, to reclaim their normal form.
Cromiardi serves cross-court, set by Johnson to the near side. Attack by Robinson, played well by Cromiardi. Diving to keep the ball alive is Gunter on the near side. Mississippi State will send the ball back over with not a lot of speed. Attack by Robinson, and that's a kill. 17-20 is the score. Michigan still trails.
That'll be her fifth kill of the day. And what looks like a much more typical Michigan point right there. Scotty Johnson getting the assist.
And now she'll serve. She was the server when Michigan was down by 4 earlier in this set. Almost brought them within even. She'll serve now with Michigan down 3. Cross court, played up by Cromiardi from the far side. Attack blocked in front by the Wolverines. Standing tall is May Pertovsky. Michigan within 2 now.
That'll be her third block of the day.
And timeout called by Mississippi State, not something you see often by the team leading.
Yeah, I mean, it's only 2 straight points Michigan gets, and you wonder if now they're worried whether they're going to be able to hold on to this thing. Mississippi State up 20-18, nearing the end of the set, but the teams are right there. Obviously, get to 24 all, and they'd have to go past 25 since you need to be up by 2 to win. But as you mentioned, it is unusual for the leading team to take a timeout. And it's not like Michigan was on a long run. It was only 2 points. So very peculiar decision right there.
I mean, with the game so close, within 2 points, both teams, the score is getting up there, 20-18. It might be smart just to take a little, hey, pause, just calm down. This is what we got to do to win these, 5 points before they win 7. Keep your head in the game. Just relax. We got this. We almost came back against Bowling Green yesterday. Mississippi State, they were down 2-0. They came back in a very close third set before ultimately falling in 5. That third set was 26-24. Then they took control 25-16 for losing that fifth and final set. Could be saying, hey, calm down. We got this. We almost put it away yesterday. The rankings think we're better than Michigan. Let's show them who's boss. But now Scotty Johnson will serve. Waiting for the Mississippi State coach to clarify something with the head official. All grievances settled. And breaking news for the University of Michigan, they have settled their lawsuit with over 1,000 victims of a doctor who died in 2008 for sexual assault. It's just breaking news there. Michigan loses a point on a blocking error as it goes off the block and out of bounds. 21-18 is the score. Mississippi State ahead by 3, just 4 points away from claiming set 3 as their own. Serving is Sania Patis. No service aces to her name so far today, nor any, one service error. I remember that one. It was her only serve attempt of the game. It was a service error. And this time, the serve is inbounds. Attack by Robinson, just inside the sideline. A beautiful play. Couldn't have placed it any better on the near sideline. Michigan trails by 2, but time is running out. They need 6 of the next 10. Kendall Murray will serve. Back towards the center where she likes to serve. She'll go cross-court, played up by Cromiardi. Attack by Rebecca Walk. Blocked in front by the Wolverines. Another block by the Wolverines. May Pertovsky on the near side, on the far side rather. Michigan back within 1. Kendall Murray a little bit closer to the near sideline. She'll walk diagonally towards the center as she serves. Another block by the Wolverines, this time by Merzick. Michigan ties the game at 21.
And this is the Wolverines team we're more used to seeing them block so effectively up front. Jess Robinson with a block assist on both points, along with Jess Merzick on the last one, made Pertovsky on the point before. Jess Robinson really taking an active role in getting this team back to tied.
Attack gets through the block of the Wolverines, and an attack very light by Merzick, bounces off the block in front by Mississippi State, and the block will send the ball out of bounds. Michigan takes the lead. 3 points left to win this game in straight sets. They haven't had a straight set win. Actually, that's not true. They had a straight set win against UNC in their last game.
Jess Merzick with the kill there, now leading the team with 8 on the night.
Murray with the serve. Again, cross court. Chromiardi controls. Attack by Myrick, blocked in front by Robinson and Pertovsky. Michigan within 2 points, and the crowd is behind the Wolverines now.
Wolverines going on a scoring run here. Believe they were down 21-19.
21-18.
21-18. And looks like somehow they gave Mississippi State the point. Maybe reviewing something. Is it a net violation called?
We shall see. And they do confirm it is to end up being a point for Mississippi State. It's 21-23.
22-22 with Mississippi State getting that point.
You're right.
It's a killer violation for the Wolverines as they were really in control. We're about to get 5 in a row. Instead, the game's tied and the Bulldogs have to serve back. Jess Robinson with the block error.
Serve by Coulter. On her knees to receive it is Robinson. And Mississippi State, in desperation, sends the ball up over, kept alive by Michigan. Both teams playing some fantastic desperation volleyball, and the block by Robinson goes out of bounds. Mississippi State 2 points away from winning this set. It's 23-22. Timeout called by the University of Michigan Wolverines.
Wolverines now potentially 2 points away from losing. Killer block error by Jess Robinson. Otherwise, the Wolverines are up 2, and you have to figure really would have been in good shape having to serve to win this set and win in straight sets. Instead, they may have to play through another set. Obviously, they have another game on Sunday against Bowling Green to conclude their 10-game non-conference schedule. Mississippi State now showing why they can be such a tough opponent. Obviously dropped the first 2 sets as Michigan took them quite handily. Not going away quietly here. So you mentioned the first 2 sets that they lost against Bowling Green yesterday were much closer, but they did come back to force a 5th set before ultimately dropping it and having their 2nd loss of the season.
Michigan, although calling the timeout, they were done very quickly. I think they just wanted to, hey, volleyball's a game about momentum. Let's just break it up a little bit, try to stop Mississippi State from rocking and rolling their way to a set victory.
Yeah, so Mississippi State did have the much longer conversation. Timeouts in volleyball are 75 seconds.
Mississippi State serves from the near sideline, attacked by Merzick. That's blocked up well. And Mississippi State 1 point away from winning the set. Serve by Coulter. Merzick with the attack. Hits the block, so Mississippi State will have to play it out of bounds. And a kill hits the hardwood. Mississippi State wins the set 25-22 and will be going to set number 4 here in Crisler Center. So, Zach, what did Mississippi State do differently that set than they did either of the first 2?
I mean, I think they did a better job prolonging points. They had 15 kills in that set. Half the kills they had they both had 30 in the match. Michigan, it looked like, just was not playing cleanly either. I think they had 4 service errors, 4 attacking errors, several blocking errors as well. So I just don't think Michigan played very well in that third set. Obviously, they're still up 2 sets to 1. I think it came down to, ultimately, the game's going to come down to who makes more mistakes. I think the Bulldogs made less mistakes in the third set than they did in the first 2, and I think the Wolverines made more mistakes. Wolverines trying to turn things around here and still come out with a 3-1 win. Still in control of the match, only need 1 of the next 2.
And here it is, the Blues Brothers dance. The Blues Brothers dance started with the Children of Yost. The song, of course, is I Can't Turn You Loose, plays during the mall chase scene in the famous movie, The Blues Brothers. Absolute classic. I think I must have been, 13, and I was on an no. Yeah, I must have been 13, and my father sat me down and said, all right, you're old enough to watch this movie. You're watching Blues Brothers. I said, it's an old movie. I don't know if I want to. If you haven't watched Blues Brothers, you need to. It's up there on my top 5 favorite movies. I believe it started off as an SNL skit, but I may be wrong about that. It's a bit before my time. Yeah, it started off as an SNL sketch, the Blues Brothers. A great Michigan tradition. Speaking of Michigan traditions, we heard Mr. Brightside earlier, and I think a lot of fans turned against DJ Mint at the football game last week against Hawaii when DJ Mint played Mr. Brightside all the way through and didn't drop the music out, as many DJs do, to let the Michigan Wolverines fans, the Ann Arbor faithful, sing the last few lines of the chorus all by themselves, unaccompanied.
Yes, certainly the student section alone, I think, can project as well as the speakers can in the big house. Really don't need...
Fans stormed the field and sang Mr. Brightside. Did you happen to be on the field that day?
I was not. I was home watching on TV. I witnessed the storming of the field, but I was not there.
I'm not a claustrophobic person, but in that space, I felt claustrophobic. That first point won by Mississippi State. They were the receiving team. After receiving the serve, a set and an attack from the far side nets Mississippi State the first point. Myrick serves cross court. Attack by Jess Merzick for the Wolverines from the far side. That's blocked well. Mississippi State able to handle it. Another attack by Merzick. That one's not able to be dug as well by Lily Gunter, the libero, on the near side. That attack was cross court. And the University of Michigan Wolverines tied at 1. We're not sure if there are any technical difficulties. We're getting mixed signals here. So if there are technical difficulties, excuse us. Attack by Mississippi State, blocked well by the Wolverines. And that point does go to Michigan. Serve by Robinson from the far side. The attack is blocked in front on the near side by the Wolverines. Pertosky's attack, 2 Mississippi State players dive into each other. And it looks like there was a miscommunication. Chromiarty and Lily Gunter both diving towards the ball. And, I mean, I'm not an expert at body language, but Chromiarty looked a little upset at Gunter diving in. Perhaps Chromiarty called for the ball. They high-fived at the end of it all. Seems all's good. And a block by the Wolverines. They weren't in a tight blocking formation, but Pertovsky, Bonnie was able to get her hands. Nope, that was Pertovsky.
Looks like it was an assist with Bonnie and Pertovsky.
Bonnie and Pertovsky were able to stretch their hands out An attack error by Mississippi State. Doesn't touch the block. Ball will go out of bounds. Michigan up 5-1, taking a commanding lead early in this fourth set.
And this is the Michigan team we're much more used to watching that we really didn't see at all in that third set.
Robinson serves down the line on the far side. Attack blocked out in front by May Pertovsky. It's her sixth of the day, rather. Michigan Wolverines up 6-1. Robinson stays down the line with her serves. Another block by the Wolverines, getting them another point. This one by Jess Merzick.
And this is
my goodness.
This is what the Wolverines are so good at doing, just blocking the ball up front. Here forcing Mississippi State to already burn the first of their 2 timeouts, running off 7 points in a row after dropping the first one.
Let's take a look at this. Wolverines, they went down early 1-0 after a kill by Gabby Waden. Kill by Merzick, block by Merzick. Kill by Pertovsky, block by Pertovsky and Bonnie. Then an attacking error by Jessica Walk, block by Pertovsky and Bonnie, block by Merzick. The front line for the Wolverines has been impeccable. Absolutely incredible.
And this is what this team is so good at doing, and when they're able to play like this, they do become almost unstoppable. We've seen this already, consistently, whether it's Jess Merzick got the last one before went to
Bonnie and Pertovsky. And then as we've talked about, as we were talking about more earlier in the broadcast, it really does go around the team. They don't have one blocker. It feels like their entire front line, no matter who's up there as they rotate, is always capable of getting those blocks to win points. 3 players have more than 5 blocks. Pertovsky with 6, Bonnie with 9, and Merzick with 5. Attack from the near side by Chromiarty for Mississippi State, and that finds its way through the block and just out of reach of Robinson. Mississippi State, after the timeout, gets the first point. They still trail by 5. It's 7-2 here in the Crisler Center, right next door to the Big House. Lily Gunter will serve. Jackie Bonnie will tip the ball just up over the net into an attack by Mississippi State. They'll win that point. It's 3-7. Michigan still lead.
Chinya Cromartie with back-to-back kills gets the Bulldogs back to within 4. You wonder if they will go on a rally, falling behind early here after winning the last set.
Serve by Dowd, attack by, Pertovsky from the near side. That's well received by Mississippi State. Attack by Merzick, again well received. Mississippi State will tip the ball up over the block. Doesn't look like they're messing with the blocks of the Wolverines anymore, and the attack by Pertovsky sinks into the hardwood. It's 8-3, Michigan lead.
4th kill for Pertovsky. She's had 6 assists as well. Really has, 6 blocks rather. Really has made her appearance felt here, especially the last couple sets.
And for the first time, we'll see Brooke Humphrey, the serving specialist, in for the Wolverines, and a rare misserve by her hits the center of the net. 8-4 is the score. And now Humphrey comes out for Beals to Michigan's, two defensive players for the Wolverines in, and MSU subs in Emily Oither and Francesca McBride. McBride with 2 kills and 2 errors on the day so far. Set by Johnson, attack by Jess Merzick, dug well by Mississippi State. And another attack by Merzick, this one a tip that goes far towards the back far side corner, lands just in bounds, and now Merzik will serve. What a very well-placed tip. Not a shallow one like we've seen her do a lot. This one goes much deeper into the court.
It's still a pretty soft tip to get it deep that far, and she's now reached double digits with 10 kills on the night.
Wolverines able to not quite keep the ball in play after a strong attack. The first touch was by Jess Merzik on the baseline. The ball goes farther away from the net. Beals tries to keep the ball up, but again it goes further away from the net. Trying to bump it up and over her head is Merzik. Doesn't reach the net. MSU point. This is the second time the Wolverines have played a game against a team known as MSU. They played against Morehead State University 2 weekends ago, and now they're playing against Mississippi State University. Of course, they will have several games against Michigan State University. That dreaded rivalry. Michigan won that last point on a kill by Jackie Bonney. Michigan in control of this set, 10-5. Attack attempted by Francesca McBride. That'll be her 8th attack attempt. That one is an error into the center of the net. Michigan leads by 6. It's 11-5. Serve by Grant. Well played by Mississippi State. They'll get the ball up and over the net. Attack by Murray. That's blocked. The ball is kept alive by a seated Hannah Grant, and Michigan can't capitalize on the great play by Grant to keep the ball alive while seated. She sends the ball up and over the net, but Michigan isn't able to recover on time. It's 11-6, and you just hate to see when that happens, when Michigan, or any team for that matter, makes a fantastic play and the rest of the team just can't capitalize. And a service error by Mississippi State gives the ball back to the Wolverines. The score is 12-6. And when Mississippi State took the timeout, they were down by 6. 10 points later, they still trail by 6. It's 12-6 is the score. Michigan will serve. That's Scotty Johnson with the ball from the near side down the line, played up by Myrick. And she'll attack it cross court, just out of bounds past the sideline from the near side to the far side. Michigan leads by 7, 13-6.
And that's already the 7th attack error by Mississippi State in this set. Again, more errors than points is a very difficult formula to basically an impossible formula to win.
It's also over half the points that Michigan has. And that's the 7th point for Mississippi State on the service error by Johnson. She's subbing in for Dowd as the platooning setters keep on rotating. She left a little early before the referee gave her the signal. So they had to go back and do the substitution again. Serve by Coulter. Attack by Merzik. Hits the block in front by Mississippi State, but the block doesn't send the ball back over the net. It's hard to make a block when you're like 2 paces away from the front of the net, but you got to do what you got to do. Sometimes it pays off. This time it didn't for Mississippi State and the blocking player, Rebecca Walk. Murray with the serve. And the attack by Walk, blocked in front by the Wolverines. They're up 15-7. Michigan 10 points away from winning this game, their opening game of the Michigan Challenge.
And that's how we saw them get up 7-1. Keep blocking successfully at the net, and they are in very good shape.
Another block by the Wolverines, but this time it goes out of bounds, just past the sideline. It's a risky move when you're on a side of the net and you make the block towards the side you're on. They could have angled their hands a little more, trying to knock the ball down closer to the sideline. But a good attempt nonetheless. Set by Dowd. Strong attack by Robinson, and that hits the upper body, chest, face area of Gabby Coulter. And point Michigan, 16-8 is the score.
Line shot there from Robinson for her 7th kill of the night, 3rd on the team.
Robinson will serve. Played up by Lacey Jeffcoat. And Mississippi State with a tip goes up and inbounds. 16-9 is the score. Serving for the Bulldogs is Lily Gunter, the libero.
Mississippi State is hanging in there, but is not cutting into the lead, which should still bode well for Michigan to win this set and win the match.
Gunter from Oviedo, Florida, will serve. Played well by the Wolverines. Set by Dowd. Attack by the Wolverines, and they're saying it was a ball handling error by number 6 in black, Sania Pettis. Pettis has 2 kills on the day, no attacking errors, couple ball handling errors, and 2 service errors. Wolverines serve. They're up by 8, 17-9. Bumped up by Johnson. Attack by Murray, racing down the center of the court. Attack well defended by Mississippi State. But the second attack wasn't. Scotty Johnson doesn't attack often, so when she does, it's always a surprise. She found herself on the near sideline where the ball was and decided, you know what, I might as well. Jumped up, sends the ball back down towards the sideline. Timeout called by Mississippi State as they trail 9-18. Michigan just 7 points away from winning the match.
And as you had mentioned, that is only the first kill on the day for Scotty Johnson. Not a major player, but does lead to the surprise element that works out well. Wolverines up 18-9, looking for another commanding win. Take the match 3-1 before heading into their Sunday match against Bowling Green. You really don't know what to expect in that match. The Falcons are only 5-5 on the season, but they did just beat this Mississippi State team yesterday in a 5-set match, surviving blowing a 2-0 lead to win the abridged 5th set and win 3-2. What we do know is that the schedule is about to get a lot tougher for the Wolverines, especially as they go into games against Ohio State, Minnesota, Wisconsin. Those are not going to be easy opponents to take down. Penn State is ranked 11th. They'll play them next Saturday. So this Wolverines team is about to get tested really early with the brutal Big Ten schedule and what maybe is the strongest conference for volleyball in the nation.
A service error by Hallgren. She doesn't get a lot of, she hasn't found a lot of game action so far today. It's an uncharacteristic service error by her. Michigan still leads by 8 points, though.
The team as a whole has made a lot of service errors. I don't think it's something they'll be happy about, even though they are still in good shape here in the last set.
Attack by Merzick down the line. Can't be received by number 19 in black, Emily Orther. And it's a 9-point Michigan lead again, 19-10, 6 points away from the match victory. Served by Merzick from the far side, cross court. Played up by the Bulldogs. Attack by Francesca McBride goes to the right of the block. Hannah Grant unable to play the ball up from her knees. Michigan leads 19-11. Cromiardi serves, received by Grant, an attack by Merzick. Michigan within 5 now of match victory.
Now going to be 12 kills for Merzick on the day, as she has been the player to watch out for, along with Jackie Bonney, who has 9 kills to go with 9 blocks. Wolverines up 9 here.
A service ace by Maddie Dowd. That is her, pardon me, not Maddie Dowd, Hannah Grant. That is her 4th of the day. That is a record for her this season. And she increases her aces per set number, her Big Ten leading aces per set number, even higher. That attack by Myrick just goes past the hands of the Michigan back line, specifically Hallgren. Michigan leads by 9 still, 21-12. Mississippi State with the ball. Serve by Petties. Goes towards the Michigan sideline. I believe that was a ball handling error by Michigan. Mississippi State back within 8 now. Petties with 2 service errors on the day, now a third. As she hits the ball into the net, that is a rough look for Petties. Michigan now 3 points away from match victory. And Scotty Johnson will serve for the Wolverines from the near side. Cross court, played up by Petties. Attack by Myrick, blocked. Myrick keeps the ball alive, though. Walk. Sends the ball across from the center, and then she makes a block for Mississippi State. It is 14-22.
Looked like Michigan was set up well there to go for the kill, but Mississippi State got the block off, something they haven't been able to do very well tonight, and gets the point, gets within 8, winning 2 points. Or no, not winning 2 points in a row, getting the serve back there.
You mentioned Mississippi State's trouble with the blocks. That is just their 5th of the game. Their 1st of the set, compared to Michigan's 16 blocks. Attack by Myrick, dug by Grant, and then Michigan with the attack, and that'll land on the Michigan Wolverines side after a block by Rebecca Walk.
That's 2 points in a row there where Mississippi State does get the block. Maybe too little too late, but that is what they haven't been able to do most of the night.
Both of them by Rebecca Walk, coming out of Our Lady Academy of South Alabama.
Another service error there. Serve went long, gave Michigan the point. Now they're up 23-15, 2 points away from ending the match.
Kendall Murray with the serve. The ball bounced on the top of the net and just barely fell over. That's a service ace. Like I said earlier, they don't ask you how, they ask you how many. And the Michigan fans rise to their feet as the Wolverines are just 1 point away from match victory. Kendall Murray with the serve, cross court. Played up by Cromiardi. Attack by Myrick, can't be played by Hannah Grant. And Michigan will have to receive for match point. As serving is number 3, Lacey Jeffcoat. She'll serve from the far side. A standing serve with no run-up. Serve by Dowd, attacked by Jess Merzick. The block goes out of bounds, and the Wolverines win. The Wolverines are your victors valiant tonight as they beat the Mississippi State Bulldogs in 4 sets. The first set was 25-16, the second set 25-8. Mississippi State looked a lot better in the third set. They won that 25-22, but it would not last as the Wolverines finished the fourth set 25-16, and they win the match. 13 kills for Jess Merzick, 9 for Jackie Bonney, 8 for Jess Robinson, 6 for Kendall Murray, 4 for Pertovsky, and then 1 each to Serena Niambio, Scotty Johnson, and Amber Beals. 18 assists for Scotty Johnson, 21 for Maddie Dowd, and 4 service aces for Hannah Grant. Also 1 service ace for Scotty Johnson and 1 for Pertovsky. Defensively, 9 digs from Jess Merzick, 10 from Hannah Grant. And on the other side of the ball, no, pardon me, not done yet, Jackie Bonney led the team with 9 blocks. And now, looking at the other side, Mississippi State did have a couple standouts. 10-plus kills for both Myrick and Cromiardi. Those are the 2 offensive weapons of the Bulldogs team. A couple players really suffered with a couple errors from the Bulldogs. 3 players with errors on every single attack they made. That is Lily Gunter, Gabby Coulter, and Emily Arthur. For Zach Linder, my name is Joshua Tenzer. Good night, and as always, hail to the colors that float in the sky, and go blue.